So my dear meteorology enthusiasts, we will now focus on what may happen on the 8th, 9th, and 10th regarding the ECMWF model trends, which is primarily a snow trend for southern Poland. And this trend may bring us low pressure systems from the southwest Mediterranean Sea basin. These lows are rich in moisture. In the east, we would have a high pressure system that would block the movement of these lows. And it could be very intriguing, quite ahead of us. What could happen here and how might it look in the ECMWF model trend? What do we have here? So we have a high pressure system over Russia. I drew it strangely. But generally we have a high over Russia and lows below and above. The second high would be located over the Azores, a little further north of the Azores. What would that cause? That their circulation, that the air would circulate around these highs in this way. We would also have lows, a low located very far to the north and a low, which we mentioned in one of the previous episodes, that would be moving from the Atlantic Ocean towards Germany, not Poland, as in the case of the GFS model. Such a situation would cause the upper wave quite stretched to stretch even more, and the low itself. I'm telling you, moving more to the south and at the atmospheric front, creating a Genoese low over the Gulf of Genoa, would also cause the detachment of this cold drop. See how it would look on the 8th and 9th. Here the detachment is not visible, but in the calculation of temperatures at 850 HPA, that is at an altitude of 1.5 kilometers, we see a very strong inflow of these cool air masses. These cool air masses would be moving very strongly to the south. They would be traveling very strongly to the south from the north. On the other hand, warm air would be pushed very strongly towards the Balkans, then towards eastern Ukraine, and here far towards Russia. This influence of cold air would reach the Balkans. It would also reach Italy, and it would be very significant for us, as it would trigger quite an interesting circulation. Well, we would have blocked path in the east all the time, so the high pressure system would not allow those lows forming over the Mediterranean Sea to wander too far east. On the western side, we would have the Azores high, so there would be an area in between where these lows would actually swirl. And it so happens in these calculations that this is Poland. Let's check how it could look according to the ECMWF model. We can see this situation perfectly here. A warm front with snowfall. Definitely cooler air in the north. Here are more fronts and large amounts of snowfall. Let's check how it might look. But let's change it to Europe to make it more readable. And let's start with the 6th. We see the movement of this original low, which will help in the formation of a low right over the Mediterranean Sea. And on the 8th, the low from the Mediterranean Sea would start to move north. It would start to move north, heading towards Poland, among other places. Moving in this way, also pushing precipitation zones to the Czech Republic, Germany, southwestern Poland, and also northern Poland with rain, sleet, and snowfall. This would happen on Monday, and this low would not move far north, but would swirl here over Poland and would be producing precipitation. Am I saying it right? Producing precipitation. So we would have snowfall all the time. It would be a situation similar to September and the Boris low, which did bring floods, but here it's not about floods, it's only about intense. What would characterize this situation here? Well, it's that we would have warmer air mass zones here and also from the north at higher altitudes. The movement of precipitation that would reach the mountains from the north, thus to the Sudetes, to the Karkonosze, and also to the Tatras, where there would be snowfall. Intense snowfall that would last quite a long time, so a significant amount of snow could fall there. This situation would last, according to these calculations, until the 11th. From the 11th to the 8th, from the 8th to the 13th, from the 8th to the 8th, from the 8th to the 11th. So these could be quite long and quite intense. One could say snowfall. How intense could it be? Let's check that. Let's go directly to Poland now and see what it would look like. guarding the precipitation zone. In this calculation, we see that the first precipitation would already occur on the 6th in southwestern Poland, while larger precipitation zones would start to move on the 7th. By the 8th, it would really be raining here. In general, it is evident that we would have the most snowfall in the Sudetys. It would be really severe here in terms of snowfall. The Kłodzka Valley and areas of the southwest would also experience intense snowfall. Well, to be honest, this is a mediocre option for people who were affected by the flood. In any case, we need to talk about what the scenarios might be, so that those watching can also keep in mind that a significant amount of snow may fall there in the near future. How much snow could fall? Let's see. There are no significant snowfall predictions according to the ECMWF model until the 6th. The first stronger snowfall will occur on the 6th and 7th with about 10-15 meters falling in the higher parts of the Sudets. However, according to the ECMWF model, the fun is set to begin on the 8th, when intense snowfall will occur practically all the time, especially in the Sudetys, particularly in the Karkonosze, and also in the Tatra Mountains. And now, according to the ECMWF model scenario, we would have a situation where there would be 28 centimeters before the intense snowfall. However, after the passage of this low-pressure system, incidentally called Genuanski, it would be 11-12, we would have 105 centimeters. On the 11th, 12th, we would have 105 centimeters. So, approximately 70 centimeters of snow in the higher areas would really be severe. We will, of course, monitor this situation. However, let's check how other numerical models see it. In this case, the GFS model, which also sees this period, just sees a different path than the original. It also sees intense snowfall in southwestern Poland, but more around the 10th, 11th. And they won't be that large, up to 50-55 centimeters, and not up to 100 centimeters in the higher parts of the mountains. So we have quite intriguing weather ahead and possibly more snowfall. Why would such intense snowfall occur in the mountains? As I mentioned earlier, and in the foothills, of course. As I mentioned earlier, we would have a situation like with the Nis Boris, so the center of the Nis would be located somewhere here. So we have the center of the Nis, and we have precipitation. This precipitation would move according to the circulation of the low pressure in this way. I might change to the arrow setting. In this way, the precipitation would travel, and of course it would be blocked here in the mountains. So there would be more of that precipitation, a mechanism similar to that in floods. However, here it is rather about intense snowfall. Will it prove true? We will see. This is one of the possible scenarios. We will definitely be observing it.